and go back to yesterday. Let's pretend that time has stopped and I didn't go away. We had our love to make us happy. It wasn't meant to bring us tears. Love like ours should never die. So darling, let's turn back the years. Sing with us. Darling, let's turn back the years and go back to yesterday. Let's pretend that time has stopped and I didn't go away. That's your Kevin shoe. We had our love to make us happy. It wasn't meant to bring us tears. Love like ours should never die. So darling, let's turn back the years. Everybody. Darling, let's turn back the years and go back to yesterday. Let's pretend that time has stopped and I didn't go. No, I didn't go. So darling, let's turn back the years. Thank you.
Miss Mary Duff, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, she'll be back. She'll sing some more.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wonder if you ever heard about the difficulties that Paddy and Mary were experiencing. Did you hear about it? Well, they had been married for a good number of years and they were having problems, you know. You see, the problem was Paddy was showing Mary no affection. Well, it was worse than that, but I know we're in a recession, so we have to take what we get. Yes, Paddy was showing Mary no affection, and she had been putting up with this for so long, and she said to him one day, she said, if they didn't go and see somebody that would try and sort things out, that she was going to call a halt to the proceedings and it would be over. Well, Paddy was nobody's fool, and he knew his situation was a good one, so he said to Mary, whatever she wanted to do, he would go along with it. So she made an appointment with this marriage guidance counselor, and the day came for them to go to his office, and off they went, and first person they met was the secretary or the receptionist, and when they went in the door, she handed them some paperwork or forms, as we would call it at home, and they had to fill in all the particulars, and Mary, she was in charge of all the writing, and she wrote everything that needed to be answered. And the way this man did it was down at the bottom of the form, there was a space left to write in, you know, what the difficulties were. And Mary wrote in bold black writing that there was only the one problem, and it was that Paddy was showing her no affection. So that was fine. They waited a while, and then they got the call to go into his room, and he was sitting at a desk, and there was two chairs sitting opposite, and he greeted them, of course, and he invited them to sit on the chairs. And by this time he had the paperwork, and he was reading all about them, you see, and he got down to the bottom, and he saw the problem was that Paddy was showing Mary no affection. So he said nothing about anything. He just got up from his seat, and he walked round the desk, and he stood beside where Mary was sitting. And he bent down like this, and he gave her a kiss on the cheek, and he rubbed her head ever so gently. A few seconds later, he gave her another kiss on the cheek and rubbed her head again ever so gently. A couple of seconds more, a third time, kiss on the cheek, and rubbed her head again ever so gently. Then he stood up and he walked round and he stood beside Paddy and he said, now, he says, that's what she needs. And she needs that 3 times a week. So he said nothing for a minute, and then he looked up and he said, well, he says, I can drop her off on Mondays and Wednesdays. But he says, I go fishing on a Friday. Oh, boys, oh, boys. Leave it to Paddy.